Thank you. So this is an opportunity to do a quick lightning talk about the Adoptium Working Group's program plan for 2024 that was approved towards the end of last year and lays out a description of the working group's goals throughout this calendar year. And there's actually a lot of charts in here. So I wasn't going to go through and read them all individually because I think it's not really the nature of a lightning talk. So I was going to kind of set it in the context of what a program plan is and the sort of areas that it covers. And then we publish these publicly so that people can go and take a look at the details of it and find out about what the working group intends to do. So the Adoptium Working Group is a bunch of people who come together to support the technical work of the Adoptium projects. And this program plan is a product of that working group, which reflects the needs of the technical projects. So those needs are the support in various different areas that we'll talk about as we look at the program plan. The plan is put together by the steering committee of the working group. That is then approved by the Eclipse Foundation, and it gives, as I say, direction for the working group in how to channel the resources and efforts of the working group for the benefit of those technical projects. It kind of sets out the governance of those projects at Adoptium. It doesn't define the technical direction. That is always defined by the committers and the members of the community with oversight from the Program Management Committee. So again, just in terms of the structure, we've got the Eclipse, which is at the foundation level. That's making sure all of the policies and procedures are in place to make sure the community is a fair and safe place for everybody to work. The working group, which are providing the resources, the governance and the support for a group of projects under the Adoptium umbrella. And then each of the technical projects, which is tasked with achieving some technical goals, and again, with support of the working group and the foundation to achieve those. So that's kind of the context of where we are with the working group and the program plan and the purpose of the program plan. And in fact, given that we've been at Eclipse for a few years now, the program plan is just an evolution year on year. We don't change things dramatically, so there's no big U-turns. And you know, if people kind of recognize this from previous years, that's actually a good thing. So let's just, as I say, I'm not going to go through every individual one of these charts, but I'll bring a few up just to highlight and show you some of the key points and the structure of the program plan, and then people can go and have a look at the details outside of the lightning talk. So no big surprise, the working group's mission is to advance, promote and support those projects. As I mentioned at the beginning, not to be directly involved in the technical work, but to support the projects in their goals. So there has to be an alignment between what the working group is intending to achieve and what the technical projects want to do. And so for us, that is creation and dissemination of runtime and associated technologies, high quality runtimes for use across the Java ecosystem. And the technical projects very broadly break down into producing runtimes and JDKs. So delivering those that are highly consumable. So obviously we're taking open JDK code, we're adding value with all the additional parts that are required to make that into an enterprise ready, secure deliverable, and that deliverable is consumable. So it comes with installers, archives, pushed out to distribution points and made available for everybody to be able to use that. We focus on quality assurance, so making sure that code which we do deliver is robust and secure. It's following secure development principles and processes to make sure that we know where that code has come from, that we are as sure as we can be about its lack of vulnerabilities, and that we keep up to date with patching things which are available. The secure development practices, so you'll see that, and you'll know from the work that's gone in the projects, a real focus on being able to have a declarative description of how we produce the code and what the code contains when it gets delivered into the enterprise. And doing that in a way which allows other people to verify the deliverables that we have. So independent agencies can take a look at the code, see what's in there and determine if there are any vulnerabilities, but they can also see the provenance and how we produced it, so they can recreate it and check that the method that we use is secure and that they can produce the same results if they need to. And then innovation and differentiation. Adoptium has always provided an umbrella for projects to come and try out ideas, see how they work, and then upstream them into appropriate projects or keep them as part of Adoptium if that's appropriate to do so. And we've had a great example of that today, where the RISC-V processor has been built and starting to be distributed by Adoptium. I think that's a real innovative step. The work is landing in OpenJDK and other places, but just building the pipelines out and the processes for getting something from implementation all the way through to delivery is no mean task. So the first part of the program is to define its objectives. These have been slightly tweaked, but not too different from where we were in the past. And the first one, and which I would certainly consider the most important, is to maintain vibrant, healthy projects, because it's all about the community. And we've always focused on ensuring that Adoptium is a welcoming and friendly place for people to come and engage in the mission that we have. Because if we have a healthy community, we can fix the code part of it. Having a disruptive community and great code is not the right combination. So making sure that people have a voice and are listened to, that our processes empower people. We tend not to put things to votes and vote people down and that kind of stuff to get our way. It's always done through consensus and discussion. And I'm pleased to report that the project continues to be very healthy and productive in that way. So the support that comes from the working group, first principle is to make sure that we continue with that healthy community. Following on from that, the success that we've had in being able to deliver Temerin and other products from the Adoptium projects has led us to be one of the top industry vendors in this space. And so the objective includes continuing to make sure that we are that trusted supplier of Java runtimes and other components that are associated with that out into the enterprise. We mentioned looking for technical collaboration opportunities. So we don't operate in an individual world. We work with other projects that use Java runtimes. We need to understand them, make sure that what we are delivering is what people need, whether it's in terms of how we deliver it, what we deliver. Examples including, making sure that our certificate store contains the things which people actually use, making sure the installers are of the right type and operate, whether it's Docker images or homebrew casks, that kind of stuff, making sure that all of the collaboration with other communities and other parts of the stack get what they need so that Temerin just slips nicely into their pipelines. And secure development, again, we've mentioned this a few times, but this is one of the keystones and obviously a focus for this year, as it has been for last year and previously, making sure we deliver secure binaries and that people can verify the security and have some trust in what it is that we're delivering to them. The next kind of section in the plan breaks down each of those different themes into very specific examples. So again, I'm not going to talk through all of these, but you see that one of the program goals was ensuring Adoptium projects thrive. And then on the right-hand side, we describe tactics and strategies in which we can achieve that. Okay, so this is how we're going to achieve the thing which is written on the left-hand side. And then the next chart shows what we achieved in 2023, so retrospective, and what we hope to achieve in 2024 in our program plan under that same banner of vibrant, healthy projects at the community. And so for each of those, again, I'm not going to go through them. This is one where people can go and grab the charts and read the details and see where they lay. we outline the achievements and the objectives across each of those different themes and strategies that we have. The next section is talking about member participation, and this is a bit of a reflection on the working group themselves and the expectations that we have on working group members to be able to support those strategies that we have in the working group, to be able to support either through publicity, through financial support, and through governance oversight, the technical work of the Adoptium projects. And then the priorities. Now, again, this is not setting the technical direction for projects, but it's saying that when we have got our resources at the working group level, how they will be applied to support the technical work. So delivering our secure platforms, breaking that down into what we mean by platforms, what are our core platforms, what are our secondary platforms, what are the versions that we care about. And this is just to make sure that we bring everybody together so we're aligned on the support and the promotion of the work of the projects. Each of these definitions of platforms and releases is actually voted upon by the PMC, drawn from the committer community. So it's the technical team which decide what is important in terms of deliveries, and this is to align the working group in making sure that those deliveries are the focus of the working group. Secure software development, again, we're just going to call out that it's going to be focusing on SALSA and the secure software development framework from NIST, so that, again, people are aware of what it is that we're doing, how that gets broken down into individual deliverables is part of the community's issues to deal with, and build verification and so on. So again, I'm just going to go very quickly down this list, paging through what the marketing activities will be. So how this is how we promote the projects and the fruits of our projects, through going to events, through starting up the swag store, which is something which is coming back online again, through the innovation. And then importantly, what we should consider stopping. So obviously we have a finite number of resources available to the project through the working group. And so what should we look at in terms of making sure that we are putting all of our efforts into the right place? So every year we will, as part of the plan, make sure that we are applying our resources in the right place and what we could redirect resources towards. And then this is just the checkbox marks of the different platforms that we have. This is of interest because working group members come to the project, provide resources both in terms of machines and funding, direct funding, and often have got a specific business interest in particular architectures or particular versions of Java. So we want to be very explicit as to what it is that we are supporting there, so that we reflect the interests and wishes of the working group. And then to round out the plan, we have got our metrics. This is how we evaluate how successful we're being in this space. Each of these are sort of a bit of a proxy for the actual thing that we're trying to measure. So when we talk about the number of downloads of Temurin, that's kind of a proxy for, how successful are we in providing something which people want to use. So we would hope that that number would continue to increase over time. How many committers we have, which again is a kind of a proxy for how healthy is a community. Are people learning and growing and achieving the status there of being able to demonstrate that they have the skills to get committer rights to the code? Likewise, Slack membership, how active is the community in general, chat, and so on. And then the SSF scorecard, which is just one which has been introduced recently, which is a reflection of the secure engineering practices that we have. So I think we've always been debating what make good key performance indicators for the project, which will give us some feedback on how successful we're being in being able to meet these criteria that we have in the plan. And that will probably continue to adapt over time as we get better at doing that. Another one is how quickly we get the builds out. And so we have targets Again, this is in conjunction with the technical team, making sure that we can see how soon we can get our known vulnerabilities patched out in the community. And so there's been great success in improving the release time for that, and that's reflected in one of the key performance goals of the working group. And so that was it really. As I say, it's a very quick run through the plan, why we have a working group and why they're building a plan. And this has been approved at all the different levels and already published on the Adoptium Working Group mailing list. But I think we also intend to create a PDF of this and put it in somewhere which is a bit more consumable as well, so that people will be able to get hold of that. When we do that, we'll announce it on the community Slack channel as well, so people can reach it.